So fam, as you can see, the Bitcoin price action and crypto markets are dumping, and we have lots to cover. In today's show, Bitcoin keeps liquidating longs as the Bitcoin price action gives up $22,000 support. And quoting Max Kaiser, the high priest of Bitcoin, Bitcoin demonetizes war and violence. Sitting in fiat standard, Bitcoin maximalists, El Salvador, I am assumed, watching the fiat world blow itself up. This was always going to happen and is the prime reason Bitcoin gets to $2 million. The fiat world is going extinct. Thanks, Satoshi. Also, breaking news, Mt. Gox registration deadline pushed back for another month, which ultimately means the largest creditor will not sell its returned Bitcoin. I'll be breaking this down for you, as well as BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes proposes a Bitcoin-based stablecoin. That's right, he calls it the Satoshi Nakamoto dollar, aims to be entirely free from any movements of the US dollar, which require banking services. Also in today's show, stablecoins and Ethereum are going to be commodities, reaffirms the CFTC chairman. We'll also be discussing when the Amazon plans to supposedly launch its NFT marketplace will take place, which is going to make it a step closer to finally entering NFTs, directly competing against Blur and OpenSea. Also in today's show, the Fed is about to crash Bitcoin and crypto markets, says crypto analyst Nicholas Merten, and explains why. And he says we can likely return to $13,000 to $14,000 Bitcoin price action. I'll be breaking this down for you. All this plus so much more in today's show. And today's episode is brought to you by Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world, and they are celebrating International Women's Day. Lots of incentives to take advantage of, as well as free trading on the top Bitcoin related pairs. If you use my referral link in the description, you can claim a bonus of up to $600 for getting started today. And if you're a Binance US user, as I am, be sure to use my Binance US link, as they have a different offer with different incentives, but I still highly encourage you to take advantage of them. And let's get this crypto, shall we? And welcome everyone just tuning in. This is podcast episode number 1215. I am your host, JV. Today is March 9th, 2023, and we have lots to cover, so let's dive right in. Checking out the crypto market watch here, you can see all the major cryptos currently correcting and in the red. We got Bitcoin down 2%, now trading under 21,700. How low will she go? You know what I mean? We have Ether down 1.2%, trading back under $1,550, and just a massacre for the overall market. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, I'm sad to report that the market cap is back under the $1 trillion milestone at $998 billion. We so close. With about $42 billion in volume at the past 24 hours, Bitcoin dominance back on the decline at 42% even, and the Ether dominance barely on the rise at 18.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Clay leading the pack, up 6%, trading at 22 cents, followed by Kava, up 6.6%, trading at 87 cents, followed by Filecoin, up 5%, trading at $6.07. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, a sea of red, which is definitely not a good indicator, just a handful in the green, which include Clay up about 9%, XRD up 7%, and Filecoin up 5.6%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're finally back in fear, rated a 44, as we've been stuck in neutral for the past few weeks and for the last month. And yeah, so let me know how many of you are expecting the Bitcoin price action to continue to dip, and how many of you are taking advantage of that dip, BTFD or dollar cost averaging. Let me know in the comments right down below. And now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin traders remain sensitive, even to small price movements, as data shows liquidations continue to climb. Bitcoin approaches 21.6 March 9th, and those who long Bitcoin are seeing positions evaporate like that. So despite the consensus forming around Bitcoin testing or retesting 20,000, small shifts in price are still taking their toll on traders. And according to data from monitoring resource CoinGlass, March 8th alone saw 24.5 million of Bitcoin longs liquidated, the highest tally in about a week. That coincided with Bitcoin heading to 3-week lows, abandoning the 22,000 support, which we can currently see, and including altcoins, the March 8th liquidated 95 million of longs and another 15.4 million of shorts. Extreme volatility. Further data from on-chain analytics firm Glassnode captured the dominance of long versus short liquidations, which you can see in this chart. And according to the action, crypto trader Philby of Trading Sweet Decent Trader argued that it was of little surprise that overexposed long positions were feeling the heat. as he shared here, makes sense to wipe out the majority longing against the price direction. And this chart showed mounting leverage position of the liquidations. And also, as reported, Bitcoin price action remains comparatively flat despite the liquidation behavior. February became the least volatile month on record in terms of open and closed prices on the monthly timeframes. And for financial commentary resource, BC letter. This is served as a warning in and of itself, and not just for Bitcoin, analyzing the price behavior after a substantial liquidation event on March 3rd. He forecasts a liquidity crisis stretching out across macro assets. Quoting him here, net liquidations in crypto markets exceeded $200 million in 1 hour. Since then, Bitcoin has traded completely flat and liquidity is gone. Imagine what will happen to broader markets once liquidity dries up. Now, let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. And quoting the one and only high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, tweeted yesterday in response to this, shenanigans going on with Ukraine and wars and weapons and all this bad stuff. And he wrote, Bitcoin demonetizes war and violence, sitting in fiat standard. Bitcoin maximalist El Salvador, I am amused watching the fiat world blow itself up. This was always going to happen and is the prime reason Bitcoin gets to $2 million per coin. The fiat world is going extinct. Thanks, Satoshi. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the high priest of Bitcoin, and much respect to Max and Stacy. Love the two. They're my favorite power couple in Bitcoin, and I have much respect for them because they've been telling us about Bitcoin back when it was only $1, back in 2011 via the Keiser report. You know what I mean? So they're the first ones to bring up Bitcoin on national television. And also, if you missed the interview where he orange-pilled Tucker Carlson from the Fox network, I highly encourage you to check it out. In fact, Max Keiser right now has it pinned on his Twitter, and I'll show you so you can see what I'm talking about. I actually uploaded the video just the other day, the entire 60-minute uninterrupted interview. And you can see here my full 60-minute interview with Tucker Carlson. We discussed Bitcoin, President Bukele, the new security law in El Salvador, Gary Gensler's fraud, heck yeah, FTX and Bankman-Fried and their fraud, Ishcoins, financial terrorism at the Fed, and how Wall Street steals pension dollars. So be sure to check that out and retweet it if you haven't already. I'd love to see this video get at least 250,000 views, and I'm sure it will with some due time. But with that being shared, now let's discuss our next big story of the day, and that's what's happening with Mt. Gox, which is actually positive news, which I am happy to share. So check it out. The registration dates for the Mt. Gox creditors have been pushed back yet another month. According to the announcement, the decline or deadline has been moved from March 10th to April 6th. Allowing creditors to file claims for yet another month. The distribution deadline has been pushed back by another month as well. The distribution of assets to creditors will now start from October 31st instead of September 30th. So this is official. The official document cited various circumstances for the shift in deadlines, such as the progress by rehabilitation creditors. In respect of the selection and registration, creditors have the option of a lump sum payment, bank remittance, fund transfer service provider, or going through a crypto exchange or custodian. Creditors have been waiting for years to get compensated for losses incurred because of the exchange hack back in 2014. Mt. Gox was a Tokyo-based crypto exchange out of Japan that once accounted for more than 70% of all Bitcoin transactions. And in 2014, the exchange was hacked and filed for bankruptcy after thousands upon thousands of Bitcoin were stolen. And as reported in February, Mt. Gox Investment Fund, which is the largest creditor of the defunct crypto exchange, chose to have an early payout in Bitcoin rather than wait longer for an even larger payment after the legal battle. The early payment or payout means creditors would receive approximately 90% of what was due. The bankruptcy trustee doesn't have to sell tokens to acquire fiat funds for the payment, since the creditor also chose to be paid in BTC. Now, the extension in deadline means other creditors will have another month to decide whether to take the lower amount now or wait another 9 years to get the full amount. What would you choose? I sure as heck wouldn't want to wait another 9 years. So many things can go south in that time. Now, the Mt. Gox creditor payout has been the focus for quite some time now, especially considering the value of Bitcoin has increased multifold since the exchange went bust. There has been speculation about the impact of Mt. Gox creditors on the market if they decided to sell their holdings. However, a report from Bloomberg notes that the largest Mt. Gox creditors have no plans to sell their Bitcoin, as pointed out here by TED Talks Macro. Mt. Gox's largest creditor will not sell its returned Bitcoin, and he's quoting this article here. Bankrupt Mt. Gox's largest creditor plans to keep returned Bitcoin. The largest creditor of the failed Mt. Gox crypto exchange intends to hold rather than sell Bitcoin that's due to be dispersed this year. The Mt. Gox investment fund, which brought claims up against the bankrupt digital asset platform, doesn't plan to sell the tokens that are scheduled to be returned in September, according to a person familiar with the fund's thinking who asked not to be identified, discussing private information. So there you have it. It's definitely a good sign that this Bitcoin will not be dumped into the open market unless this is all nothing more than FUD. But who knows? We will soon find out, I guess. Nobody knows. But with that being shared, now let's discuss a very interesting topic, which is a Bitcoin stablecoin, which Arthur Hayes is proposing, which is actually quite interesting, so hence why I'm sharing it with you. While United States regulators increasingly scrutinize stablecoins, the community continues to pitch new ideas for stablecoins independent of the US dollar. I like it. Arthur Hayes, the co-founder and former CEO of BitMEX crypto exchange, proposed creating a new stablecoin with a value pegged to the sum of $1 worth a Bitcoin and one inverse perpetual swap of Bitcoin against USD. He outlined the idea of the potential Satoshi Nakamoto dollar, NUSD, or Nakadollar, in a blog post titled Dust on Crust just yesterday, March 8th. Unlike major reserve-backed US dollar pegged stablecoins like Tether, USDT, and USD Coin, USDC, the proposed Nakadollar will not depend on any USD reserves, but solely upon derivative exchanges that list liquid inverse perpetual swaps, says Hayes. The proposed stablecoin would be explicitly based on a set of short Bitcoin positions and USD inverse perpetual swaps, maintaining its one-to-one peg to the US dollar via mathematical transactions between the new decentralized autonomous organization, NakaDAO, authorized participants, and derivative exchanges. The process of creating the Nakadollar stablecoin will be entirely free from any movements of USD, which require the services of banks, Hayes states. He still noted that the proposed NUSD stablecoin would not be decentralized and added the following: the points of failure in the Nakadollar solution would be centralized crypto derivative exchanges. I excluded decentralized derivative exchanges because they are nowhere near as liquid as their centralized counterparts. This news comes amid the owner of Silvergate Bank, a major crypto-focused bank in the U.S., shutting operations and liquidating businesses amid the ongoing market turmoil and downturn. The shutdown came quickly after the New York Department of Financial Services abruptly ordered the Paxos Trust Company to stop the issuance of Binance USD, which is the stablecoin pegged to the dollar on Binance, one of the largest U.S. dollar-pegged stablecoins on the market. And as previously reported, Paxos held deposits in several banks, including Silvergate and Signature. Hayes is not alone in considering USD independent stables amid the ongoing pressure from regulators. Back in February, the Binance CEO, CZ, suggested that the crypto industry will likely move to other fiat currencies as a base for stablecoins, including the euro, the yen, or Singapore dollars. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding this concept of a Bitcoin stablecoin that is not dependent upon US banks or the US dollar? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below, and I'll be keeping you posted if this continues to develop. And with that being shared, now let's discuss a warning from the CFTC where they say that stablecoins and Ethereum are going to be commodities, which is in direct conflict of what the SEC chairman Gary Gensler has been saying. So here we go. Stablecoins and Ether are commodities that should come under the purview of the U.S. CFTC, its chairman has again asserted at a recent Senate hearing. March 8th, Senate agricultural hearing, CFTC Chairman Rostin Behnam was asked by Senator Kristen Gillibrand about the differing views held by the regulator of the SEC following the CFTC's 2021 settlement with stablecoin issuer Tether, and responded, notwithstanding a regulatory framework around stablecoins, they are going to be commodities in my view. And he also added, it was clear to our enforcement team that the commission that Tether, a stablecoin, was a commodity. Now, in the past, the CFTC had asserted that certain digital assets such as Ether, Bitcoin, and Tether were commodities, such as in a lawsuit against FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried back in mid-December. As quoted here, this is pretty stark, almost impassioned rebuke of everything except Bitcoin as a security, and stablecoins are security positions. Would be great if the CFTC released the legal analysis on these issues. Chairman Behnam says it did. Now, when asked what evidence the CFTC would put forward to win the regulatory influence over Ether during the Senate hearing, Behnam said it would not have allowed Ether futures products to be listed on the CFTC exchanges if it did not feel strongly it was a commodity asset, and added the following: we have litigation risks, we have agency credibility credibility risks if we do something like that without serious legal defenses to support our argument that the asset is a commodity. The comment has seemingly cemented his sometimes wavering opinion on the classification of Ether, and during an invite-only event at Princeton University in November of last year, he said Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency that he viewed as a commodity, leaving out Ethereum. Interesting, because only a month before that, he suggested Ethereum would be viewed as a commodity too. So it seems like there is no clarity and no one can make up their mind, not even the regulators. Isn't that something? I think it's all by design. Now, his most recent comments oppose a view held by the SEC Chairman Gensler, who claimed in a February 23rd New York Magazine interview that everything other than Bitcoin is a security, a claim that was rebuffed by multiple crypto lawyers. Now, the differing viewpoints of the market regulators could set the stage for a conflict, and each vies for regulatory control of the crypto industry, which it seems like they're fighting for. It's like, this is our turf. No, this is our turf. In mid-February, the SEC flexed its authority against stablecoin issuer Paxos, saying it may sue the firm for violating investor protection laws, alleging its Binance USD stablecoin is an unregistered security. But around the same time, the regulator similarly targeted Terraform Labs and called its algorithmic stablecoin Terra USD, now Terra USD Classic, a security. A move Delphi Labs general counsel Gabriel Shaprio said would be a roadmap for how the SEC could structure future suits against stablecoin issuers. Now, the SEC's crypto clampdowns have been seen pushback from the industry, at least this week. Circle founder and CEO Jeremy Allaire said he doesn't believe that the SEC is a regulator for stablecoins, saying they should be overseen by a banking regulator. Let me know your thoughts and if you agree or disagree, and how many of you believe that Bitcoin is a commodity and not a security. I think it's safe to say, if I can speak on behalf of everyone in the chat who's a Bitcoiner, Bitcoin is obviously a commodity. It has the green light. It is not a security. We've heard that directly from the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler. But when it comes to Ethereum, I'm going to ask the same question. How many of you believe truly that Ethereum is not a security and is a commodity? Let me know. And if you think vice versa, let me know. If you think it is a security, maybe because there's an Ethereum foundation, maybe because it's not decentralized, maybe because it's working with the World Economic Forum, maybe because they switched their protocol from a proof of work to a proof of stake. These may be some legitimate reasonings why it could be deemed a security in the eyes of regulators. But again, regulators can't even agree upon it themselves. Everything, still no clarity. It creates uncertainty, more fear in the markets, more ways for them to manipulate and suppress the price action ultimately, which in my opinion is what they've been doing and what they will continue to do until we get some sort of regulatory clarity. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And now let's discuss the latest with Amazon releasing their own NFT marketplace. Considering how big they are, this would be huge. Amazon, the world's largest e-commerce company, is reportedly preparing to enter the world of NFTs with the launch of its own marketplace reportedly scheduled April 24th, just a month away. According to Yahoo Finance, the new Amazon NFT marketplace, or Amazon Digital Marketplace, will offer 15 NFT collections that will initially be available to customers in the United States. The company is expected to expand the service to other countries in the future. Now, the reports of this new interest in NFTs started circulating back in January, a couple of months ago. This new development put a date to the rumor. The idea does not seem so far-fetched, considering that Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said in April of 2022 the company was open to selling NFTs in the distant future. Now, one of the most interesting features of the marketplace is the option to link NFTs with physical goods delivered to the user's doorsteps. That's right, collectors can use their credit cards to purchase NFTs and receive their products at home, just like a regular purchase. The initiative aims to simplify NFT purchases and eliminate the natural complexities of the crypto world, allowing users to experiment with the technology without understanding its mechanics. Now, an anonymous source from Amazon interviewed by Blockworks stated that the retail giant can onboard millions of users without educating them on topics like self-custody or setting up a MetaMask wallet. But y'all know better. You definitely want to set up some self-custody, right? They're going to leave you in the dark and say, hey, host your NFTs on the Amazon marketplace. No, thank you. But per the reports, Amazon has contacted several layer 1 blockchains, including gaming companies, blockchain companies, and other businesses to collaborate on this project. They have also hired more staff and plan to employ various developers with proven expertise in Web3. And as reported, more and more giants from different industries are turning to NFTs to boost their sales, from sportswear footwear companies like Adidas, Puma, Nike, to luxury fashion companies like Dolce & Gabbana and Gucci. They all have launched their NFT collections to stay competitive in the industry that demands innovation. And according to Dune Analytics, Nike is the company that has benefited the most from the sale of NFTs, earning nearly $186 million in revenue, followed by Dolce & Gabbana with $23.6 million. And although these figures may represent a small amount of money compared to the sums earned by both companies, they demonstrate that it's a growing niche that can be profitable if appropriately leveraged. Facts. Therefore, Amazon's initiative could take NFT adoption yet to another level. The company has a massive subscriber base of approximately 167 million users to its Prime service, who will be the first to receive info about the marketplace launch directly from the company. So, exactly how does this compare to OpenSea? OpenSea is currently the second largest NFT marketplace, even though Blur recently took its spot. The OG NFT marketplace accounts for over $3 billion in sales since its launch back in 2017. The platform allows anyone to create, sell, and discover NFTs, and besides Blur, the platform competes with other marketplaces, including Nifty, Gateway, Rarible, and Super Rare. Amazon NFT Marketplace aims to simplify the NFT purchasing process and offer users a seamless experience. However, it remains to be seen how the new marketplace will compare to the existing ones like OpenSea in terms of functionality, user experience, and sales volume. Well, all I know is this: if they release their own NFT marketplace, and considering there's 167 million Prime customers, that's a pretty big deal. This can help usher in massive adoption. And personally, I just love to see mass adoption occur. So if it has to occur through NFTs, let's do it. I would prefer it happen through a spot Bitcoin ETF finally being, available in the United States, but regulators can't pull their heads out of their arse, so I expect nothing really from them at the end of the day. But with that being shared, now let's dive into the moment you have all been waiting for and discuss the potential crash incoming that could take the Bitcoin price action all the way down to the 13 to 14,000 range, setting an even lower low than the current low we have at $15,700. And then we'll dive into the live Q&A. And if you're enjoying today's show, make sure to smash the like button, turn on all subscriptions or notifications, the whole nine. And if you're listening only to the pod, check out the YouTube channel at cryptonewsalerts.net for the full premium experience with video and to participate in the live Q&A. And with that being shared, a widely followed crypto analyst says that the actions of the U.S. Federal Reserve will crash Bitcoin and crypto markets in general. In the new video update, Nicholas Merten, host of Data Dash, tells his 500,000 YouTube subs that the Fed may once again cause havoc in the crypto industry by continuing to raise interest rates as a means of countering inflation. According to Merten, recent testimony from the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is likely going to push Bitcoin below the 20,000 level very soon as the Fed springs liquidity traps. Quoting the analyst here, the recent testimonies from the Chairman Jerome Powell from the Fed in front of Congress, where he was answering questions from Republicans and Democrats and essentially was trying to address why the Fed has taken the stance it's done on monetary policy. The Federal Reserve is likely utilizing this kind of flip-flop narrative mechanism that the Fed is commonly known for during the greater part of its history, where it says one thing and does another to its advantage in order to create liquidity traps to absorb liquidity, or more specifically, to have an excuse to add in liquidity to the system and keep towards its 2% inflation target. The Fed has done this for the greater part of the last decade. The only difference this time around is that it's utilizing the euphoria and continued optimism as a way to trap liquidity and absorb liquidity from the real economy into financial markets. Merten also notes that the past few weeks have proven just how interconnected crypto is with traditional markets, and that the Bitcoin bulls should be happy to grab Bitcoin between $13,000 and $14,000 if it were to dip that low. Quoting the analyst again, the past month and a half has been full enough proof that crypto is not separate from everything just yet. And maybe Bitcoin doesn't go all the way down to 7 or 10,000, some kind of large absurd decline, which is generally in line with the traditional crypto bear markets. Maybe it's still just going to go to 14 or 13,000. I'll happily wait for that. Now, to watch this video he did entitled "The Coming Bitcoin Collapse, A Brutal Awakening is Coming," check the show notes below the video in the description, and let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst that we're likely to see a lower low, lower than the current low of 15,700. And now for the live Q&A. Welcome to everyone just tuning in. We got a jam-packed session. I'm going to start at the top. Welcome Maximus, welcome Ellen, welcome Matthew C. Welcome Chris Minka, welcome J Dub the Laker, welcome Mark Thomas. Good to see you. Welcome Do the Dishes. Welcome, Ellen. Always a pleasure. Welcome, Rudy. Welcome, OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg in the building. Welcome, Johnny Midas. Good to see ya. Megadon. Always a pleasure. Wow, lots of chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I greatly appreciate it, to say the least. Let's start right here with Chris Minka. I usually a hodler, not a trader. Took profits at 25,000. So I got plenty more dry powder. I still say the bottom is in. How many of you agree with Chris Minka? Holla at your boy. West Coast Satoshi Flip says, I have long-term, midterm, and day bags to play with. Love the long and short roller coaster rides. Adds an intensity to the whole thing. It sure does. Chris says, I make fiat profits and I'll already accumulate more Bitcoin than I sold, which is my actual goal. Congratulations. Keep stacking them stats. Well done. I love seeing people win. Buy more Bitcoin. Buy more Bitcoin. In my sailor voice, says West Coast Satoshi Flip. That's what's up. And shout out to Sailor. Chris says, I respect traders, but it just takes too much time for me. Not my main focus. I feel you, man. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for me. I could never be a day trader. I don't want it at the forefront of my mind, panicking all day. It's too stressful. Long-term hodler, no stress whatsoever, because I believe in the technology and I know it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I can feel good every single day and have no worries. As long as my Satoshis are continuing to accumulate, what am I going to fear? Am I going to fear Bitcoin dropping to 15? I care less. I just get more. Just more opportunity to stack more. As long as my Satoshis are going up, eventually, you know what I mean? The price will reflect its true value. Right now, the Bitcoin price is not reflecting the true value of Bitcoin. Uncensorable, unconfiscatable, you know what I mean? Immutable, instant settlement. This is a technology that's never existed before. True scarcity. This is a money technology that's never existed before. The true value to me is hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when I see a price action at 21.6, I'm like, holy cow, red light special at Walmart. Pick it up. Stack them stats, fam. You know what I mean? Not investment advice, but just how I feel personally. You know what I mean? When I trade, it's off the weekly, so I don't have to babysit. That's what's up. Nalman says, hey, JV, do you think that it's a good time to buy Bitcoin? I think anytime you have the ability to buy Bitcoin, and if you're in it for the long haul, and you're just not a day trader looking to make a quick buck, it's probably a really good idea, depending upon your situation and your financial goals. In my life, it has served me well. I started accumulating Bitcoin many years ago. It's worked out tremendously. And even if Bitcoin crashed to 5,000 tomorrow, I am still grateful because I've been accumulating Bitcoin for so many years, and I know it will eventually return to all-time highs. So I start to weigh what's the downside risks versus the upside potential. Downside risks, whoa, maybe we crash 50% and we hit 10, 11,000. That can potentially happen. I don't think it's probable, but it's a scenario that can play out. What's the best case scenario? Well, I already seen Bitcoin at 69,000, so I have full faith it's going to return there if I just hold it long enough. That's my perspective of how I look at this. That's why I continue to stack, and I'm not so concerned if I bought at 21 or 25 or 22 or 30. It's irrelevant. It really does not matter because I'm in this for the long haul. You know what I mean? How many of you are here for the long haul like me? Let me know. Might have to put up some Michael Saylor company. Word up. Driving for the next 20 minutes. Good morning. I'll be listening. I appreciate you tuning in stat-wise in the car. That's what's up. And also for those of you who just want to listen to the audio side, don't forget I'm also on Spotify and iTunes. I always include the links in the description below the YouTube video, so you can tune in on those platforms as well. You know what I mean? Go Max. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, spread the good news of Bitcoin always. We ran out of sellers. The Fed needs to step in and start selling. Got to give us some cheap stats. Right on, Matthew C. Chris says, any crash, I'm panic buying. I feel you. Matthew says, I panic buy every chance I get. I worry people actually wake up and understand Bitcoin. Proof of work, scarcity, fixed supply, monetary value, facts. True that, Chris. I always feel like panic buying says do the dishes. I think many of us agree here. People won't wake up anytime soon. A few more years on my view. I mean, people discover Bitcoin at the time they deserve to discover it. It's just not the right time for everyone. But eventually, I think their time will come. But some people you can never convince. They just don't like the idea of decentralization. They love their government so much. Like, oh, my government cares about me. They're going to take care of me. They're protecting me. Joe Biden loves me. He wouldn't allow any ill will to happen. I don't care if Biden wants to double the capital gains tax on crypto from 20 to 40%. He's looking out for me, and my government cares about me. If you're one of those folks, I mean, it's like you can lead a horse to water. Try forcing a horse to drink the water. You'll probably get kicked in the throat. You know what I mean? Same way with people. We can't convince somebody who doesn't care. You know what I mean? They're so convinced in life works this way. We're not trying to convince those people. I'm here to speak to the people who are looking for a better way. They're looking for the exit valve, as Christine Lagarde put it, the exit valve out of the fiat system, because they no longer want to participate in the slave model. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. The people who are just looking and searching for a better way, they already know their government is corrupt. They already know fiat currency is corrupt, and they're just seeking the solution. That's who we need to get this message in front of. Because again, we can't convince anyone to do anything, and we don't want to convince those people to do anything. You know what I mean? Big ups, Dub Proof. Appreciate you tuning in. Shanking back. Doggy, was good. Appreciate you, fam, as always. So insane. Break yo. Oh, I got to fly. Chris Minka says, I doubt the new low, Matt. Break yo front says, I understand fluctuation, but we have been getting boned for a few years now, to say the least, right up the butt. You know what I mean? We're getting screwed left and right. I see worst case as a retest the previous bottom around 18. Just my opinion, though. Yeah, I think the current bottom is like 15.7. I can see a potential retest in that area as well, but we shall see. 20 still is a strong psychological support, so, and we're not far from it. We're only 1,600 above right now. I'm dollar cost average long. I'm not going anywhere. Stacking and stacking. That's what's up, Matthew C. Good morning, Crypto News Alerts fam. See y'all, Max and Stacy this morning. What are you saying? Did they do? I didn't catch them live this morning. I was busy this morning, but I will absolutely watch them later on. I watch Max every day. He's like my spirit animal. I just resonate with Max so much. He's been calling out the corrupt bankers for decades. Telling you, if you don't hang the bankers for their corruption, they're going to continue to steal. And what do they continue to do? Steal from us through inflation and many other nefarious means. You know what I mean? What if central bankers got hung for their crimes against humanity? You know what I mean? We wouldn't be acquiescent to allow it. They wouldn't have our consent to continue to screw us. You know what I mean? So we got to do something about it. That's why I have so much respect for him. He is the only one on television speaking that way. I've never seen anyone in the, with the background like Max who can speak that intelligently about the situation, being in Wall Street, with his background. He understands the scam. He understands the fiat system. He understands the people behind it. And I think it's great because we have to call them out. So much respect. Long live Max. My focus is on 2025. What does Bitcoin in between? I'm not concerned. Tough cook, that's what's up. Buy now and have the feeling later. You know the one. Good morning. Megadon says the Bitcoin drop is a trap. Sure, I'll like a 14 Bitcoin, 14,000, but the largest creditor for Mt. Gox is not selling. Well, according to the reports, they are not selling unless they're lying to us, which, again, anything is possible. People lie all the time. Don't forget that the founder of Mt. Gox also started XRP and XLM scams. Are you referring to Jeb McCaleb? Let me know, Chris. Max and Stacy were talking about how Bitcoin is the ark. Absolutely, I agree. Bitcoin is our savior. Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. One of my favorite Max Kaiser quotes. The only way we can be saved is through Bitcoin, because without it, what do we have to look forward to? CBDCs? You know what I mean? Money which expires. Talk about consumerism. They're going to give you money that expires, encouraging you to spend it or you're going to lose it. At least with Bitcoin, you can hold it. It's digital gold, and it will go up in value over the long term, as it has for the past decade. It's the most appreciating asset in human history. It went from $0 to $21,000 US dollars per coin, and it's digital. It doesn't even physically exist. It's up in the clouds. You know what I mean? Talk about superior technology. I definitely believe this is like advanced technology coming from the heavens above. Let me know if you feel that way. You know what I mean? God has given us a chance. This is the ark. I love that. I love the metaphor. Megadon Bitcoin conference is coming up fast. We'll be in Miami to support the community and Max and Stacy. That's what's up, Megadon. Hope you have a blast there. Hope you get to meet them and some of the speakers. I was there last year. It was massive. It must have been like 20,000 people there. Yes, sir. Morning, fam jam. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, OG. Rudy says, hey, everyone. Glad to be here live. Remember to smash that like for JV. Greatly appreciate that, family. Thank you. JV, going to Miami? I'm not. I have very important things with my family going on right now, in which it's not smart for me to go to Miami this year. I was there last year, but this year I'm going to sit back. Also, I must say, the hotel, the internet sucked. So it was extremely difficult for me to even broadcast my show from Miami. So honestly, I watched a lot of the events from the computer on my phone, actually, because it's it was all televised, like on YouTube, like they streamed the entire event. And I mean, in the event, it's so big. I was sitting so far in the back. When I was inside the event, I was watching it on a big screen. So what's the difference in me watching it from home on my, on YouTube? I'm still going to catch it all. I can cover it. I'll have good internet. So I don't see the downside of me not being there this year. The only downside is not being able to connect with you guys. But I'll be honest, it's so overwhelming when there's 20, 30,000 people that I probably wouldn't have been able to connect with any of you, because it's extremely difficult, because it's overwhelming. You know what I mean? So just speaking my 2 Satoshis there. But in a perfect world, I'd love to be there, but it just got some important things going on right now. Bitcoin doesn't care. Facts, J-Dub. Bitcoin is a commodity. Everything else is a security. Just because they are a new tech doesn't matter. They are trying to make the fiat system more efficient. So some same rules apply, says Chris. Good point. Matthew, exactly. Just because they are securities doesn't mean that some of these ish coins won't make it. Bitcoin is the only commodity and only savings technology. Ish coins are crypto casinos. Sometimes. Matthew says, I take 10% and put it into the casino. The top 3 adopted ish coins are ETH, Solana, and Polygon by users and transactions. It's shocking to me that Solana is still held up, even as much as it has, considering all the corruption with Bankman-Fried involved in it. Good luck working your plan. I'll work my plan, says Matthew, referring to John. Dude, it's a store of value. Exactly, John. When Bitcoin is over 1 million, you don't need to sell it. It becomes money. You won't get taxed, John. Some good conversation going on. Yeah, but nonetheless, now let's recap. It's going to be interesting to see how low we go. We're currently at 21.6. It looks like we're about to retest 21.5. I'm hoping that holds. If not, we're going to go back down to 20,000 more than likely. Retest. Also, there's still an open CME's futures gap just under 20,000 in the high 19s. So that can be a potential scenario we see play out as well. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, here's a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis. As we discussed, Bitcoin keeps liquidating the longs as the Bitcoin price action gave up 22,000 support. I also shared why Max Kaiser believes that Bitcoin will surpass $2 million per coin. We also discussed breaking news of Mt. Gox registration deadline push for another month, as well as rumors that the largest creditor will not sell its returned Bitcoin, which is definitely a positive omen for the crypto market. We also discussed BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes just proposes a Bitcoin-based stablecoin entitled the Satoshi Nakamoto dollar. And we also discussed that stablecoins and Ethereum are going to be commodities, reaffirms the CFTC chairman. And I also shared with you that when the Amazon plans to supposedly launch its big NFT marketplace to its 167 million prime customers. And we also discussed a warning that the Fed is about to crash the Bitcoin and crypto markets and potentially take the Bitcoin price action down to the 13 to 14,000 level. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below.